guys and gals, Never here from Drake Wing Gaming, and 70 Mounts Wood of the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you on the Let's Play episode of Heroes Advent, Kody's Path. So y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back in, shall we? Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go. I'm running the latest updated version, so this includes Day 14, Aftermath. So, should be quite an interesting day indeed. So let's go ahead and jump right in, shall we? Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go. Oh. Progress has been salvaged, or still compatibility. Okay. Alright. Ray, on the other hand, headed straight to the office to get the permit validated before you all could head further in. You carried the tune well, Cassian. Oh, you heard me? Not really heard, no. I could just feel your vibe with us. I don't see why you three insisted on singing that old marching cadence. What do you mean, Alex? You were singing along as well. I did no such thing. It was nice. Kind of reminds me of when we used to sing in the car on our way back from conventions. The two gave you odd looks as they take in what you said. A car, you say? Is that like your phone? The Lynx looked at you somewhat starry-eyed and expectantly to get a head start on another invention. Kody, for his part, seemed wide-eyed and concerned. Conventions? You were summoned to participate in conventions? Oh, no, I wasn't summoned for it. I went willingly. Before you could clarify what you were talking about, Ray and Max returned with your permits in hand. They each took one of the straps meant to attach to the Hool's harnesses before pulling the cart along. You stepped out of its way as it jostled lightly upon crossing the threshold into the forest. Alex, however, refused to give up the chase for his curiosity and pressed you on the topic some more. And what of that car you mentioned? What sort of vehicle is it? You were unsure whether to answer the Lynx in earnest or just make something up for the sake of it. Yet already you've let it slip of the various concerts you've been to during these conventions, which by then even Ray had grown curious. Ooh, now I want to hear what kind of music you used to sing to. Maybe we can hit a band when we get back. And you said the convention was like our festival, right? You didn't elaborate on that. Guys, don't bother Cassian like that if he doesn't want to answer these questions. Max, on the other hand, scolded from the front, still focused on guiding the group with Ray. It's alright. I've actually been thinking about where I came from recently. It was only one thing you said, and they already had a lot of questions. What should you start with? Talk about the car. You finally gave in to Alex's begging and talked more about cars, in broad terms at least. To your memory, Carl didn't own a car that the two of you would ride in whenever you had to go distant places off campus. You noticed Max and Kody wincing when you described the vehicle as a self-propelled carriage without the need for hooves. You wondered why they seemed so taken aback when Alex informed you of the people's previous experiments on self-propelling carriages. Despite being able to sustain itself mid-air, the hover pads have nothing to pivot on, so whenever the carriage is propelled by the wind crystals, it would tailspin endlessly like a canoe on rapids. You then went into more general details about the lack of hover functionality in your car and the reliance of wheels as rudders. Needless to say, it went over the heads of everyone else, but Alex seemed to hang off your every word, already sketching crude schematics based on your descriptions. You gave your limited overview of car, make, and models, and while they didn't have much to say, everyone seemed to enjoy hearing about something new. Talk about the songs. You walked up to Ray, reaching for your crystal phone, only to realize that it's not your regular phone anymore. Rather flustered, you tried to explain music players to them, though they didn't seem privy to it. You instinctively compared them to radio broadcasts, which the people of Arborea did have as crystal transmissions, just that they didn't have music on demand. Ray brought up his complaints about how most musical communication devices are always large and cumbersome to handle and lug around during field work, which prompted you to mention the ways you used to carry music with you in portable form, piquing Alex's curiosity even more. You then tried to sing a few of the songs you could remember offhand as a cappella, though you immediately quieted down as the looks everyone gave you were rather embarrassing. Despite that, Ray and Kody applauded your attempt, both seeming genuinely content with your performance, and continued asking about the lyrics while bringing up songs of their own. Talk about the convention. Out of curiosity, you asked everyone on their definition of a convention, which turned out to be a formal business gathering akin to congressional meetings. You then explained in brief terms that conventions in your world were more like festivals celebrating what people want. Quite intentionally, you skirted around the fact that you only ever attended furry conventions, instead elaborating the range of themes that these festivals could be about. Kody showed great interest, the bear rather curious whether there was one such convention for chefs. And while a fun concept to toy with, you admitted that you've never heard of a convention hosted for chefs only, but it was entirely in the realm of possibility. The others then chimed in with ideas for conventions of their own. Ray suggested a meet and greet get together that was pretty much speed dating in a nutshell. Alex's ideal convention was similar to those science invention expos, while Max's fascination over competitive sports sounded more or less like the Olympics. You had many a thing to comment on regarding their ideas, but you decided to keep it to yourself, lest you had to go into any more details than you already had to divulge. Thankfully, the guys quickly took over the conversation, bantering and joking about each other's ideas as you moved along. Talk about Carl. Looking back, you began recounting the topics you brought up: the car, the conventions, the type of music you'd listen to. It all started from your time in college with Carl. You joked that Carl would have loved to go on this adventure with everyone else. A rather wistful thought, seeing how he'd long fallen out of the community months prior, though even he would have gotten quite a kick of seeing actual furries in action. You made sure not to blurt that last thought out loud, needless to say. All of a sudden, you heard the cart stop as Max approached you. Flustered, you thought yourself having done something wrong before he rested a hand on your shoulder. With a heavy sigh, he reassured you that once the king had been dealt with, he'd vow to find a way for you to reunite with Carl, or at the very least meet with him if at all possible. You could only thank him, not really knowing where he got that idea from, nor what to say in return. You fell silent afterwards as you all resumed your hike through the woods. You decided to not elaborate any further, to which the others promptly left you to be as soon as they got the hint. Everyone had a nice time chatting through the trek. Oh, we're here! You slowed down as the crew arrived upon the clearing at the base of the Akai. Whoa! You stared up in awe at the towering tree that sprouted crystal from its bark and branches like fungus. Each crystal seemed to glow in a multicolor range the further up the tree you looked. You'll get used to the view. Alright, let's go over our task. Alright, let's go over our task again, shall we? What is everyone doing? Let me go have a look around the immediate perimeter. Make sure nothing's lurking out there for us again. I need to set up the HTN around the tree's base. The sooner they're in place, the quicker we can get our results. I'll clear out a section for the tents and start the fire pit. Good. All that leaves is getting the rest of our equipment out of the cart. Oh, Cassian. Hey, what can I do to help you, Kody? Oh, well, I don't need too much help. All this is fairly simple, you know. What are you doing, actually? Oh, I guess it'd be easier to show you. Kody circled around the clearing as he instructed you to step back. Thump! It wasn't long before he stomped on a particular spot, nodding to himself as he assumed a stance. Then you could feel the ground shaking very lightly, as if resonating with the bear himself. Visible stalagmites began to form around him as they began dislodging the uneven dirt and grass, shoving them to the sides almost like spades. It took only about a minute. The space around Kody was turned into a neatly tilled plot of land. As the stalagmites dissolved, the excess dirt and vegetation that was shoved to the side all meshed onto the ground, as if it was originally there to begin with. Whoa! Huh, there. That should take care of the space for the tents and fire pit. That was pretty cool. Really beats having to till the soil by hand, huh? Indeed. Oh, right, Cassian, over here. Yeah? What do you need? Oop! Almost without warning, the bear dragged a huge metallic device from the cooking equipment Max placed earlier and passed it over to you. You flinched visibly, though thankfully was still able to withstand the sheer weight of the whole thing. Sheesh, what the heck is this thing? It kind of looks like a shield? Oh, it's the collapsible cooking pot I bought yesterday when I was passing by the market district. I didn't think of how heavy it could be for most people. Still, you seem to be doing just fine, Cassian. I'm impressed. Thanks. So, hang on to it for me while I figure out how to set it up properly, would you? Oh, yeah, sure. Just don't take too long, please. Yup, now let's see. Kody felt along the bottom of the pot for a while before an audible click could be heard, and followed suit were the collapsible legs for the pot to stand on. There, you can place it down now. You almost threw the whole thing onto the ground, though thankfully it seemed as sturdy as it looked. Good. Nothing looks broken. Thanks, Cassian. You're welcome. You stepped away to catch your breath as Kody set up the rest of the cooking station as well as the fire pit. You sat with Kody by the fire pit as the bear kept watch over the cooking pot, a faint aroma wafting from which indicated that lunch was just about to be ready. "Lunch is ready, everyone!" After Kody called out to everyone, you could see Max and Alex dropping what they were doing and sat around the crates that used to house the Lynx's equipment. Ray also returned after a moment, taking a seat by the pit as Kody began serving everyone lunch. You looked down at the hardwood bowl Kody passed to you, and you felt perplexed. Inside seemed to be a goopy, stringy, chunky mass of pale broth. You poked at it cautiously with your spoon, while Alex seemed to have no problem slurping the soup dutifully. You could see Max swallowing his trepidation before letting out a long sigh. "I definitely didn't miss this part of camping. Heh, you've got to tell me twice. Sorry, guys, since there's really aren't the other ways to transport rations long term, we'll have to make do with this." "Honestly, it's not so bad as you guys make it to be. If you close your eyes, you can hardly tell the difference from Kody's usual meals," Alex said nonchalantly, eyes closed, as he casually shoveled the goopy sludge of gruel into his mouth. I think I'll pass. Probably can still hold out until dinner anyway." "Your loss, Rye." "Actually, Kody, still got some of those nut bars?" "Yes, but... Those are emergency rations, Rye, for emergencies." "Yeah, well, this is an emergency, Kody. I'm starving, you see." Kody gave Ray an unamused look as he pulled 2 of his nutritious snacks from his pocket and gave them to the dragon. He also passed another few to you and Max. "Sweet." "Oh, thanks, Kody." Max happily accepted them, crushing them into the gruel, giving it an almost granola and yogurt appearance before digging in. Yeah, you're welcome." You looked down at your lap between the bars in the bowl. "What'll you eat?" "Eat the gruel." Nom nom nom. You decided to set the bars aside for the moment as you took up the bowl while it was still warm. Scooping a serving into your spoon, you couldn't help but fixate on how the whole white glob just jiggled ominously as you brought it to your mouth. You had to hold back your gag reflex as the slimy texture clung to the roof of your mouth, like some kind of demonic peanut butter. You'd have spit it out if it didn't taste fantastic. You took another spoonful after a moment, this time around realizing it didn't have any particular smell. The taste was somewhere between sweet, savory, and salty. "This is actually really good. What is this?" "It's an instant soup mix that Alex helped me develop." "Mineral CX257. It's used as a meal preservative for long-distance travels. You sprinkle it over any food to dehydrate it, and then stew it to rehydrate. It keeps for days outside of refrigeration. The only issue has been that the texture gets mangled. At least it still tastes the same as the original dish, with all the same nutrients." "Same great taste, none of the joy." "Huh. Maybe someday we'll get it right." "Well, until then, you'll have to just make it fresh for us." "I guess there's no helping it." Alright, y'all, I'm actually going to pause it right there. Oh, thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and that notification bell. I love you all, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye!